empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Welcome to the AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. But today is our Season 2 special. We'll be covering our AfterMat awards dating back from WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania through WrestleMania 35. And I do have a few things going on, so give me a second to switch out. I am your host, the People's Champ Cal, and I'm excited for another year in the books to talk about who we think are the best of the best and all that such. But before we get started, I can't do it without my illustrious panel that we've combined and added some new people, and some of the people are away. We'll get to who is away right now, and a few surprises along the way as well. Currently, as you guys always know, I'm joined by my tag team partner, the Glamazon, Delisha.
Hello, hello. It's time for the best and only award show that matters in the tune of wrestling. So I'm excited.
Yes, and we did put on our Sunday's Finest for our AfterMat show for our special because, it is like the Hall of Fame ceremony, so everyone wears their tuxedos and all that such. And as we move down the list, we are joined for a second time on the show, he makes his appearance like The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He shows up for the AfterMat specials every year. It is the Road Dog himself, Raj. Welcome back, Raj.
Thank you. Am I on?
Yeah, we're on, and then now you're off. See, this is why the Undertaker's usually a little rusty.
Right,
but so is Raj.
Good to be back. Just like the sound.
Yeah. All right. And the other person who joins us, You've seen her on After Talk with Delisha. She's quite tricky herself and might have a lot to talk about today with one special nominee that's been probably much racking up a lot on a lot of the categories. We have Tricky Nikki. Welcome back. Nicole, how are you?
Oh man, I'm like super stoked to be here. You guys don't even know, okay? I'm like so excited.
And as always, we have to go to the people in the chat. We have Will, Firefox, and Entertained, and I know a few people are joining us later, and we do have some surprises later. But for people who are not joining us tonight, for the most part, I don't think right now, Tom Zambino, as you guys know, is the Road Raider, our roving correspondent, who is usually gives us the Rollins report and the Lesnar report and all that. The Renee Young of our show, who's now like, I guess the Dasha Fuentes or Charlie Caruso. I don't know who the backstage personality is now, but whoever that is, that's who Tom Zambino usually is. However, he has dinner with his family, and family always comes first. He did send his submissions in, so Delisha will be reading those later, and I'll be doing one of his categories as well. And we do have our lucky winner as well coming in later for our I forgot I was locked on the screen the whole time, guys, so I looked at my ugly face the entire time. But you'll see these guys again in a second. Yeah, we do have our lucky winner later coming in to talk about one category that he will be presenting later. So without further ado, I guess we should talk about, I guess I didn't do this last year, we should talk about this year, what the awards really symbolize and mean. So we go from our timeline of a season consists of the Raw after WrestleMania through the next year's WrestleMania, which is this year being WrestleMania 35. We then have several categories, such as best a match of the year, a feud of the year, moment of the year, male superstar, female superstar, male rookie, female rookie, all the way up to superstar of the year. And I send it out to our illustrious panel, which is pretty much involved in the chat below right now, or in the picture below, as well as our man in the rafters, Joe, and Tom Zambino, the Road Raider. And I asked them to give me 4 nominees for each category. They all sent me back 4 nominees. Whichever 4 had the most votes for each category, or most mentions in each category, are then put onto the ballot. The ballot is then sent out to the same illustrious panel. The panel then responds only to me. I count the votes, which are then written down on my Word document that I sent out to them, and we are presenting the winners tonight. So, without further ado, we're going to go with our first category, and let me bring it up now. Now this one, actually, let me just say hi. Let me say hi to them again, because I guess you guys get to see them. But from left to right, I have the Glamazon Delisha. Welcome, Delisha, again.
Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah, you have to talk, because I'm sorry I had it locked on me because I forgot to tell you guys to text me to unlock it, because I always do the intro. After that, we have the Road Dog, Raj. How are you? Welcome back.
Good, thank you.
And finally, we have Tricky Nikki. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, sorry about. Oh, you're actually wearing the AJ Styles hoodie. I thought you were.
I am. I'm phenomenal, if you will.
Phenomenal today. See, now I can see better because it was locked on me, so I didn't get to see it enlarged on you and see that as AJ Styles one. But okay, here we go now with the first category. As I lock my screen again, see that we can do this. And throughout the show, I'll probably be asking you guys in the chat, as well as the people in the panel, some extra questions just to throw off, give me some time actually to put the new images up, but that's backstage stuff. Just pretend it's more discussion. So our lovely Glamazon Delisha is starting off the Year of the Female with our Female Rookie of the Year.
Yep. I am wearing a shirt that it doesn't get caught on camera. It's Ember Moons, who is not on this list because she's Rookie of the Year before. But I wanted to wear my AfterMat shirt, side note, but it has a rip in it, and I couldn't wear it. Anyway, I need to get a new shirt. That's the moral of that story. So we start off with our Female Rookies of the Year, which going back, we didn't have a lot of female call-ups or just call-ups in general until about the later stage of the year. And so we had the insane one, as I like to call her, Miss Nikki Cross, known in NXT as part of Sanity, though she did not make that appearance to the main roster. And now with the looks like a Sanity being broken up, we probably won't get that now again. But she is always willing to play with you in the ring if you so dare. So she went on our ballot for one of this year's nominees of Female Rookie of the Year. And next we have the now Women's Tag Team of the Year. They kind of had not even an up and down year for some people. For some people, it was mostly down. For some, it was mostly up. But they were used as more as the comic relief duo, the Iconics. And with Tom not here, I guess him and Cal are not going to do their post. That I think we need to do that in person still. But they had a great last end of the year of getting the tag team titles and getting in some pretty funny moments along with Becky Lynch and Bayley and Sasha, who were the former and inaugural tag team champions. And then we have the I don't know if we have a nickname for her yet, but we're not just gonna call her Alistair Black's wife. She is the manager or business associate, as she calls herself, to Andrade Cien Almas. I am not shortening his name as WWE wants us to, and she is the mouthpiece for Andrade. And she also can kick ass in the ring, as we saw in a couple of the Rumbles or Royal Rumble type matches that we've seen throughout the year. She gets involved with Andrade's matches sometimes to help him win, as your business manager / associate should do to get you to win at all cost. But she made it onto our list for this year for her personality on the mic and her ring skills when she needs to call upon them in the ring. And then our last nominee made her appearance at last year's WrestleMania in the ring. That is, she had a prior WrestleMania appearance as well. And she is the baddest woman on the planet. That's the moniker that's been given to her. And she's had a stellar year to winning the women's champion and defending, more importantly, I guess, for some people's eyes, that championship throughout her reign until this past WrestleMania. Just totally kicking ass and taking names. And so, of course, there would be no way to not put her on this list. And as a surprise to probably no one, she is also now our winner of the 2019 AfterMat Female Rookie of the Year.
Yes, there was actually some controversy behind this pick because, as you know, she was on our list last year, but she had only appeared up to WrestleMania. The first match was actually WrestleMania, so we really couldn't call her a rookie. As many rookies in sports do, they do play a few games in the prior season and are still considered rookies the next year. So we decided to give her this chance to be a Rookie of the Year this year again, and she did win it this year because she pretty much dominated this entire year. So
she was a red shirt. She was a red shirt.
Exactly.
Something happened?
Oh yeah, I'm getting we had for our surprise hearing from the surprise right now. Sorry about that. All right, yes. So she is a red shirt and she will be representing the Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, she cannot show up again. Just like Asuka last year couldn't show up, Ronda couldn't show up, but for more reasons, she did break her hand apparently at WrestleMania. And our AfterMat awards are very bulky and heavy, so she could not see herself carrying it. Therefore, she decided to forego showing up for the award. Our next award, I'm going to say welcome to some new people who showed up. We saw Technical Genius, welcome. Jenna, how are you as well? And Arrington, how are you? Welcome all. Our next award is the Finish of the Year, which actually should be also called the Finishing Move of the Year, which is the most, I guess, popular or most hottest finishing move that we thought was this represented this year. Our first nominee is Ricochet's 650 Splash, which is a high-flying maneuver off the top rope that involves a 1 3/4 rotation ending in a senton splash. Our next nominee is Seth Rollins' Curb Stomp, which was once banned as a move, but that's where the head is driven into the mat using the aggressor's foot. The third nominee is Baron Corbin's End of Days, which is a devastating modified lifting reverse STO that can be delivered almost out of nowhere, much like another move that's 3 letters as well. Finally is Ember Moon's Eclipse. Delisha is representing Ember Moon's shirt today. Will that mean she wins? I don't know. Ember Moon's Eclipse is a high-risk somersault plancha off the top rope that lands with a stunner. And the AfterMat award goes, for the Finish of the Year, goes to Ricochet's 650 Splash. I forgot to mention earlier that for Female Rookie Year, Ronda Rousey won with 4 votes, and the only other rookie to garner votes was the Iconics with 2 votes. Ricochet finisher won with 3 votes. Coming in second was Ember Moon with 2 votes, and Baron Corbin's End of Day with 1 vote. So this is a much closer finisher, much closer category. But Ricochet is your winner. We also have to say a hi to Otero Studios for showing up in the chat. Welcome, Otero Studios. Okay. On to the next category. So, well, this was the award that Joe was, our man for the Raptors, was actually going to cover. However, unfortunately, he was also... Yeah. My video can't be on if that's what you're asking. It's gonna be the award show thing. You guys can see this, right? You guys see the awards live? It's happening. I hope it's happening. Now I must watch my own show. Yes, it is happening. Okay, good. All right. Ricochet should win everything in the world. Yeah, so if you guys ever want to chime in with stuff that's in the chat, just let me know because I'm trying to manage this all, so it's hard to do. If there's anything in the chat that goes that's interesting, let me know, please.
Don't worry, Chad. I got you covered.
Okay. If this is the next, if this was the award that Joe was supposed to cover, therefore the next award that was actually I was supposed to cover is for the entrance of the year. And this is something that we talked about last year during the awards. I think is a question I asked you guys randomly on the panel. What was your favorite entrance or what's your favorite entrance in wrestling? So we're like, hey, why don't we make it an award this year? So the entrance of the year award goes to the nominee with the most spectacular entrance, the one that caught our eye that made us go, wow. Usually that's a recurring thing for Undertaker at WrestleMania. However, that was not seen this year. So the nominees are, first, Aleister Black. Aleister Black portrays sort of a vampire-like entrance, much to the homage of The Brood, featuring Gangrel and Edge and Christian back in those days. And their music is accompanied by The Root of All Evil by Incendiary. Our next nominee is Drew McIntyre's WrestleMania 35 entrance, which featured the New York Police Department pipes and drums, which ushered Drew to the ring, playing his theme, Gallantry. Our third nominee is a glorious entry. It's Bobby Roode's entrance, which is almost an homage to Ric Flair, right down to the robe and the strut. However, his choral glorious domination takes a shine, often sung by a live choir. Our final entrance is only seen very rarely. It's Finn Balor's Demon entrance. Not only does the Demon version of Finn Balor give him a higher overall rating in the ring, but it also strikes fear into the hearts of the opponent. Balor's Catch Your Breath theme is a fan favorite as he gyrates and the fans gesticulate along with the Demon himself. And the winner of Entrance of the Year is Aleister Black. I think myself, I don't know who else has seen this, but I know Delisha and probably Raj has seen this entrance in person. It is quite spectacular. I think it was pretty cool. I think there's a little bit less spectacular because of the camera angle, but because you see him actually coming out of the ground. But from the camera angle that they show him coming out of the ground is kind of cool, and the music is really cool. We saw the live band play when we went to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn about 2 years ago, and it was pretty cool. And he has a little flip into the ring, which is awesome as well. Any other thoughts about the entrance? Do you guys have any other notable entries that you guys did not see here? I know Ember Moon's Eclipse was on the. Ember Moon is also there, but any other things you guys want to mention?
For me, I think the reason why I went with Aleister Black. I can't even remember all my votes anymore. I think I went with Aleister Black mainly because it was something, well, not new in like WWE terms, but new this year. We had, even though Ember's interest is great. Still, I don't know. Every time I want to get hype, I just put on Aleister Black music. Interest music. It's such a simple song once you listen to the lyrics, but that song coupled with his entrance, it kind of fits the characters that he's trying to pursue. And everything is just so cool looking. Even though they butchered it on the main roster a little bit. And adding that creaky noise, I hate it. But it's okay.
I like any entrance that you can basically sing to. So like if you got lyrics in your entrance or you can like do something, I'm in. I'm so in.
Yeah, I think the entrance to Sanity I think I nominated them. I've always liked them, probably because I like rock music. But this was solid.
Yeah, Sanity is a good one, but I think because we didn't see it a lot on the main roster, I probably would have voted for them if we had seen it more often.
True.
But yeah, they also I guess I have to start speaking in past tense now. They had a cool entrance. Cal, you're not hearing. I'm still not hearing you. Nicole, can you hear him?
Yeah, okay, now I'm back.
No,
back?
there you
right.
Yeah, now you're back.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta press the button on the Yeti, so that's what happens to me when I don't pay attention like that I'm pressing it. Yeah, for me, like seeing the things in person is what really does it for me. And I think, but also it could play the opposite effect as well too, because like a Sanity entrance I really liked in person, but Aleister Black's was cool. But seeing him come up on the conveyor belt or whatever you want to call that plank wasn't as cool in person as it. The angles played a lot different. Also, seeing the Undertaker, Rod, if you remember Undertaker's WrestleMania entrance from WrestleMania 29 when we went, the demons were like pulling him down from underground, like as he walked up the steps. I bet those demons were like actually graphically cool, but for us, they were people in green suits. So I'm guessing like on TV at home, it was like look really cool maybe because they were probably actual demons. But for us, it was just people in green suits. So I don't know, like it has positive, but in person, the Sanity entrance was awesome. So, there's stuff you see and you don't see. I know I would love to be ringside for that Connex entrance, right along the ramp next to Peyton Royce. That would be just, fabulous. Just in my eyes. So that covers, that gave me time to switch all the images. So I thank you guys for that. That's going to bring us to our next award. So I'm going to lock it on the screen. And I think let me go see what the next award is. Our next award is the Male Superstar of the Year. That could probably only mean Raj doing it, probably. Yeah, it is Raj doing the male. So for a Male Superstar of the Year, it goes to the superstar that represented the male gender, probably the best and had the most pop and heat all year long. So with that, we go to the Road Dogg, Raj.
All right, thanks, Cal. The first nominee for Male Superstar of the Year is Kofi Kingston. Thanks to Randy Orton's stomp on Mustafa Ali's eye, Kingston gained the spot at Elimination Chamber's main event for the WWE Championship. Though he didn't win that match, the momentum from that event did propel him to become the first African-born WWE champion at WrestleMania 35. The second nominee for Male Superstar of the Year is Buddy Murphy. Making his way through NXT over several years, Murphy won the Cruiserweight Championship at Super Showdown in his hometown of Melbourne, Australia. He held on to his belt for about 6 months before falling to Tony Nese at WrestleMania 35. The next nominee is Seth Rollins. Having one of the most active years among all male superstars, Rollins started off by acquiring the Intercontinental Championship, followed by the Raw Tag Team Championship, and ended with the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 35. And the final nominee for Male Superstar of the Year is Daniel Bryan. Bryan spent a good amount of time feuding with the likes of Big Cass and The Miz, and even reunited with Kane, his team Hell No. He then defeated AJ Styles on SmackDown Live to win the WWE Championship, turned heel that night, and soon proclaimed himself as the new Daniel Bryan. Custom belt from entirely sustainable materials and all. And the winner for Male Superstar of the Year, speaking of the new, it's Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, I feel like Kofi Kingston, we might hear his name a few times tonight. We don't know yet. We're just saying, he did have a hot year, and I've always been a Kofi fan. And especially when I saw him on that show, Paranormal Factor Fate, he was great to watch. But yeah, someone actually messaged me earlier about some of the matches, probably the next category. I think the next category might be Match of the Year. And a lot of them did involve Kofi when the people are taking guesses on what should be the Match of the Year. But yeah, Kofi had a great year, and I'm glad to see where he is doing what he's doing. Which brings us to our next category, Match of the Year, which goes to the match that probably gave us the most 5-star moments throughout. And doing this will be our newest member of the panel, Tricky Nikki Nicole.
That's me. Sorry, I was hitting my mute button again. See, it's the mute button on the Yeti, I tell you.
I'm not the only one.
Nope. Okay, so Match of the Year. First up, are we ready? I don't know, Deuce, but there you go. You got it. First up, we have Rollins versus Nakamura at Survivor Series. The Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins, faced off against the United States Champion, Nakamura, at Survivor Series, the one night a year when Raw and SmackDown Live compete in a head-to-head competition. This match was an instant nail-biter that ended with the Kingslayer defeating the King of Strong Style in 30 minutes of wrestling goodness. Our next nominee is Andrade versus Mysterio on SmackDown Live. Now, the only non-title match on our list deserves to be here based on the athleticism portrayed by these two superstars alone. It's fun, high acrobatics match that ended with a cheat to win in Andrade's favor. The next nominee is Becky versus Charlotte at Evolution. The clash between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair at the all-women's pay-per-view Evolution marked the first last women standing match to ever take place on WWE's main roster. Both wrestlers absorbed a ton of punishment throughout the course of the match, but Lynch eventually put Flair down with a powerbomb through a table. And last but certainly not least, we have Kingston versus Bryan at WrestleMania 35. This match started slowly with rest holds and breaks that allowed the 80,000 strong crowd to chant for Kofi Kingston. Needless to say, the atmosphere was electric but tense. Ultimately, after a near KO victory for Daniel Bryan, Kingston prevailed by nailing him with a Trouble in Paradise for the win. And your winner for Best Match of the Year is Becky versus Charlotte at Evolution.
Yeah, this seems like another trend, like a lot with Kofi, but we all see a lot with Becky and the women tonight because the women, like this was definitely the women's year. The women's evolution or revolution, whatever they call it, is I think it's Evolution, right? Yeah, obviously with on the screen right there.
Well, I mean, the pay-per-view is Evolution, but it is the women's revolution.
Okay.
So you were right.
Okay. So yeah, so it's been in full swing and it's been getting hotter and hotter all year because, you know, they've been putting on fantastic matches as we knew they're always capable of. And, you know, despite some of the politics that we see and all the backstage drama, it's been a great year for the women. And I think, you know, they can only go up from here. So, I mean, it's been amazing. Yeah, so someone's asking, is this award WWE only? Yes, it is only WWE only. Because that's what AfterMat covers, WWE. We don't cover the other brands that we don't mention. But also, NXT is like the minor league. So, we, you know, NXT, the rookies come up from that. That's when they are nominated for Rookie of the Year. Oh, yeah, a lot of people say Women of the Year. Welcome, John, as well. Welcome. Who else showed up? Minecraft as well. How are you guys? And Otero saying women are the reason I came back to WWE. I do agree with that because they had a fantastic year, and not only that, they finally got what they deserve because they've been great. You know, they've been put through so much crap, and finally they get to show what they're really made of, and it's been great. And I think
the WWE finally realized that women have money to spend on their product.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, I would say couldn't have gone wrong with any of the choices here. They were all. This is probably the hardest category for me to vote for because they were all just such great matches.
Yeah, actually, another match people were asking about was the Kofi versus Daniel Bryan in the Elimination Chamber. No, I know it wasn't them against each other, but that last when they were against each other, the last two men. That actually, I was talking about this like when we were covering WrestleMania, saying like, "Hey, that like really like had my heart racing because I was like cheering every time Kofi kicked out." Which I didn't have the same feeling for the WrestleMania match. All right, this is going to bring us to our next match, but it is actually a special category because, like we said, this year we've had a lot of feedback from you guys and a lot of support from all of you, and we want to give back to you as well because, you know, you guys have been really supportive and talking in chat and, you know, coming up with like, you know, different, you guys hitting me up and saying, oh, like, what about this thing and what about that thing? And like, and we were tweeting me during live pay-per-views and all that. And it's been really fun to have interaction with you guys. So we want to give back to you guys. And so we made it we discussed it and said, let's have an award that you guys can present. Well, we already had the award, but let's have you guys present one of the awards. So we had a contest where we had 3 keywords covering from Fastlane, from the After Talk show hosted by Delisha and Nicole, which was covering the Page movie, and the WrestleMania episode. So our awards were, I think, fame, success, and immortality. And we had some people send me the words, DM, follow the rules, and then I ran it through Alexa. I can say it because I changed the word that turns it on. I each assigned them numbers randomly, had Alexa choose a number between 1 and however many entries there were, and chose this person's number. And I think they'll be joining us in a second, whenever they're ready. Let's see, I can message them right now. See, live when things are live, it doesn't work out as well. But they were in earlier. If you saw them, they kind of ruined the surprise a little bit. But they were at Drink Your Ovaltine. Is that what it looks like? As soon as this person joins in, we'll go on to the next award, Illuminati. I hope there's no error because they joined earlier. Oh, there no. We did test it out that you could leave and come back. They're saying they clicked the link. I'm going through live like chat with them as well at the same time. All right, let me try sending the link again.
In the meantime, let's fangirl about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, are there any people you see missing from the awards? I want to talk about that for when it comes to Superstar of the Year, but are there any things that you like? I know you guys all sent me different nominees. Are there any nominees that you guys? Oh, there we go.
Victory!
All right. Well, before we get to that person, let me introduce them. So the winner of our fan, I guess, raffle to guest present is the beautiful Bobby Slater. Welcome, Bobby. How are you?
Hello, glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to getting the chance to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for being so supportive and all that. And I know you're really backing the show. You like to comment a lot in the chat when we're going through the stream and stuff. Have you ever any favorite moments throughout this year before you get to your category?
Let's see. I would say at recent, the Kofi and Daniel Bryan one was probably one of that was getting it to me really enjoying the wrestling again, mainly all of NXT because it just seems to get better and better. I would say even Johnny Gargano finally winning was probably a good one.
You're now my favorite person.
That's all it took. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and lock the screen, and we're gonna have beautiful Bobby Slater talk about the next award, which was the Feud of the Year, which is between maybe one or two people, maybe even more, and having the most hottest feud throughout the year. And here we go.
Okay, and the nominees for the Feud of the Year are Kofi versus Bryan, which started with Kofi Kingston, as what was told earlier, gotten the chance to be in the Elimination Chamber after Mustafa Ali unfortunately was injured by Randy Orton. And after that started what was the Kofi movement of Kofi Mania and proceeded to WrestleMania, which now Kofi Kingston is the first African-American champion for WWE, which is an amazing thing, and it was a great storyline. Next is Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda, which started with around Survivor Series, I want to say, when Becky started the whole feud with Ronda Rousey. And from there, unfortunately, she was punched in the face, got injured, which she threw Charlotte in the match for her, starting the feud with Charlotte and Ronda. And from there on, all three of them got involved, with Ronda being the champion, Becky winning the Royal Rumble, and Charlotte being put in because of Vince McMahon, all lead up to WrestleMania, and had the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania, which was as pretty good as it could have gotten. I would have expected more, but it was really good. And that's about for that one. Next is Shane McMahon versus The Miz, which started, I want to say, around Fastlane, or not Fastlane. I'll go back further to, I want to say, was it the Crown Royal? Crown Jewel. Yeah. The Crown Jewel, where Miz was injured against Dolph Ziggler. And so Shane McMahon stepped in for his place, beat Dolph Ziggler, became the greatest wrestler. Every time I hear that. And from there, Miz went face and decided, hey, why not you and I team up? My father would be proud. We can be a tag team. They did it. Won the tag team titles against the Usos. And I think it was, I forgot which pay-per-view it was at, but Fastlane, they lost. And from there, Shane McMahon betrayed Miz, starting that feud, and had that street fight, which was glorious. And Shane McMahon, for the love of God, please stop jumping off high things or falling. And finally, we have AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, which any hardcore fan of wrestling would know. These guys have been going at each other since TNA. I think even maybe Ring of Honor and New Japan, they could have gone and had rivalries there. But this is the match a lot of people were waiting for to see in WWE, which, if I'm correct, it was starting around SummerSlam when Samoa Joe got his title shot against AJ Styles, bringing up his family, his wife Wendy, and his kids, saying he's going to be their daddy, which was just showing how great Samoa Joe's mic skills were. And it proceeded up till I just can't remember when it ended specifically. I think it was it Crown Jewel?
I think they had a match at a pay-per-view after that. Can't remember what it was exactly.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That's what we have our fact checker for.
Which one was that? But after that, that proceeded to end the feud for now. And it was a really good feud. I liked it. It was what I expected. I just wish it would have just been more about technicality in wrestling, but it showed Samoa Joe's great mic skills, as always. And for the votes, I wasn't sure if this was an error or not. 4 votes for Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. Shane McMahon and Miz were 1. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe was 1. And Kofi, I wasn't sure if that was error, but had nothing. But it has my vote.
Yeah, so there it is. Your winner is the Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda feud. Yes, they actually those are the ones that received the votes by the numbers that you saw there. This is actually a really good feud all throughout, despite the fact that Becky used the crutch on the wrong leg or wrong side. It was still a great feud overall. I did thoroughly enjoy it. A lot of people, and it earned the top spot in WrestleMania, the top billing, which was rightfully deserved. So I thought it was a great year for them, and the feud carried on very well. Speaking of very well, I think you did a great job for your first time on. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Anything you'd like to promote before we let you go?
Just my live stream video game channel, Slaterman with 3 A's. And follow me on Twitter. It should be, I think, at Slaterman. I changed it a few times. And that's about it. I appreciate it again. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us.
And you can always find him on YouTube. That's on YouTube. He does games like The Rock Legends, right? Brutal Legend, as well as Darksider. So check out Slaterman. Thank you again for participating and being such a great supporter of the channel. So as we talk about that, do you guys have anything to say before we bring in our next special surprise? I'm going to do a little intro for that person as well in a second, but I need some time to bring up the new images for this. But anything you guys want to say about the feud of the year or the match of the year before we get to the next category?
Yeah. I like the matches of the year. The all 4 of them were pretty solid for the run that the feud's gotten. I think the Shane and Miz friendliness went on a little bit too long, but to get what we got at WrestleMania was kind of a good payoff for it. But ultimately, yeah, I think the women, just as a cumulative representation, that they just had an awesome year in general, and then to have them even be like nominated in the category that fans are really starting to pay attention, I think that's awesome.
Thanks, Triple H.
Raj, any thoughts? Because you've been kind of quiet for this. Any thoughts about the rivalry or anything like that?
No, I think I agree with that. I echo what Delisha said. The women had a great year, and the Miz and Shane ended unbelievably. As you know, I love that match when we were watching together during WrestleMania. So, yeah, no, whatever, everything Delisha said.
Did you say what the votes were for match of the year? I forgot to do that.
Oh yeah, no. So for match of the year, we did have 3 for Becky and Charlotte, 2 for Kofi and Bryan, and 1 for Andrade and Mysterio. So thank you for reminding me. Yeah. So as also for male superstar of the year, we had 3 for Kofi, 2 for Daniel Bryan, 1 for Buddy Murphy, none for Seth Rollins, because they all know I'm the only Kingslayer here. Therefore,
that's right, Cal. That's all right.
So our next award actually has a very special near and dear meaning to our heart. If you guys know, if I've been following the show for a while, you know we started out with 3 members of the show, which of the show that I'm rocking right now, actually, that Alicia aforementioned earlier. We had our stable of myself, the People's Champ. We had the Glamours and Alicia, and we also had the Hitman Eric. Eric, has a lot of stuff going on in his life, and he's always going to remain near and dear, and we're great with his presence again tonight. I'm getting a little choked up, but this very special award that, we're having right now, he's going to be presenting, but before we do, let me actually introduce him, but he'll be doing a very special award, the Beverly Monroe Female Superstar of the Year. Welcome back, the Hitman, Eric Monroe. How are you?
Happy to be here. I appreciate this from the bottom of my heart. It's been a very, very tough year, but I appreciate all your support that you've given me. Delisha, I appreciate the card you sent me, and I'm honored that you did this. support me.
I mean, it's the least we can do. You've always been so great to us, and you are our family. You know, we're never going to forget that. We started as a stable. We're always going to remain a stable, no matter what happens. It might grow. I might have to leave for the Indian stable eventually with the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal and Great Khali that I'm eventually going to form, guys. It's going to happen. But I'll still always have this stable first and foremost in my life.
Hey, I was going to grow like DX, and they might go off and do their own thing, so we always come back for that 1000th episode to reunite.
We're going to be shooting water guns at the WWE Hall of Fame. So Eric, if you want to go ahead and take over for the Beverly Monroe, first ever Beverly Monroe Female Superstar of the Year.
Alrighty. I had full disclosure. This is scripted. Someone had to help me with this. So the nominees are Asuka. Asuka had a tumultuous season, though she won the WWE SmackDown Championship. She ultimately lost it days prior to WrestleMania 35. Our second nominee is Ronda Rousey. Rousey had one of the most successful debut years in WWE history. She quickly dispatched every opponent and ended up becoming Raw Women's Champion. Our third nominee is Becky Lynch, who I personally love. Becky's had an extremely hot year as she rode along the WWE's universe's emotions. From broken nose to first ever combined Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion. This is a scripted line. It's going to sound silly, but I'm going to say it anyway. Lynch truly is the man.
It's a great line. Whoever wrote that is a genius.
Yeah, I agree. Our fourth and final nominee, Charlotte Flair. The Queen's reign was cut short following WrestleMania 34 due to injury. She reclaimed her crown, capturing the SmackDown Women's Championship days before WrestleMania 35, only to lose it to Becky at WrestleMania 35. And the award goes to Becky Lynch.
So I know you just said it, but Eric, you said Becky Lynch was your favorite. How does it feel for her to be the first ever Beverly Monroe Female Superstar of the Year?
I actually loved it. I mean, it would have been okay if it was someone else, but I've always a Becky fan. So yeah, I'm really glad whoever voted for her. I don't know what the votes are. You'll reveal that, but I'm very pleased.
Yeah, actually, the votes turned out to be. Let me see if I can bring that up. Female Superstar of the Year is 4 votes Becky, 2 for Ronda Rousey. So pretty unanimous. Oh, not unanimous, but pretty lopsided in that sense. But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad we can honor this award forever now, or as they would say in Game of Thrones, for perpetuity, like forever. That's how they say it. How they bend the knees. And to honor your mother, it means the world to us that you're part of this show. Anything you want to promote or anything? I know you said you had to go right away, but
I have nothing to promote. You can just find me on Twitter at mmkoch200. Just once again, Cal, thank you for all your support. Calling me that time to check on me. Delisha for the card. That meant a lot to me. And I'm very happy to see AfterMat is in very, very good hands. And I love you all and thank you for this.
I miss looking at that wallpaper.
Yes, being in the Wonderland. And Eric,
I'm like, I had to have surgery April 10th, so I didn't want to do it in bed, so I got up purposely.
Oh, thank you.
So you can see the.
And you're ruining my heel persona, Eric. How could you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Breaking kayfabe, man.
Thank you. It's like the Clicks farewell at MSG. That's what it is, right? But thank you so much once again for being part of this, and you're always having home here. And hope to see you again next year for the next annual award for this. Because I feel it forever. This will be your award that you announce, and in perpetuity. And beneath to this award.
Thank you,
man.
Eric.
Thank you again.
Thank you again for the bye.
Later.
Bye.
All right. So thank you once again to Eric for doing us that honor. He is and always will be a part of the show. I'm so glad that he was able to join us for this and do it because I felt like that's the only way that we could have done this award because it means a lot. All right. So I'm a heel still. Don't worry. Our next award is going to be the male Rookie of the Year, and it's going back into the Glamazon's hand. The male Rookie of the Year goes for the man that debuted, that year, sometime during WrestleMania 34, all the way through till WrestleMania 35, and had an exceptional season. All right. Go ahead, Delisha.
Yeah, much like the women earlier, we didn't get that many call-ups until, so I think with the exception of one or two, until maybe the later end of the year. But we're going to start off with the man of 1,000 flips, as I like to call him, or as we've heard his theme song, the one and only Ricochet, who made his name on the indie scene and then made his way to NXT and just made literally a splash of jumping all over the place with his amazing flipping style and his just ability to just execute his moves looking flawlessly. There is a reason why he won that move of the year with his 650 splash, because it's just an effort. He just looks effortless in the ring. And we've also nominated his now tag team partner, Mr. what I'm calling him, the Prince of Darkness himself, Aleister Black, who much like Ricochet made name for himself on the NXT scene to again get the call up. They kind of took that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa spot, who unfortunately had to go through neck surgery. So they kind of filled in that spot of the tag teams coming together. Otherwise, they probably would have gotten a singles push or a singles career. But ultimately, kind of worked out for their sake because they're getting more screen time and getting time now on our list. And then we have our next nominee who, before he got his call up to SmackDown Live, was the Heart of 205, Mr. Mustafa Ali. Again, I'm not honoring the name change out of protest for myself. But he's also been known to put on just stellar matches as a great worker. He's not known, at least on the main roster, to win a lot, but every match that he's in, including with Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and Daniel Bryan, before he even got injured and wasn't able to further get that push into the Elimination Chamber, which kind of worked out for someone else. He's always put on stellar matches, and he looks good, and he also makes his opponent looks good, which is, we don't get to see a lot of that in the rookie realm. And then this one is, I don't know if it's be controversial or not, because he's kind of is a rookie, but he's kind of not. That would be Mr. Drew McIntyre, who we have seen in WWE before, as he was a little leaner, also known as the Chosen One. But then in his later half of his career, got thrown into 3MB with Jinder and Heath Slater, and then he went away to other companies that we will not name at this point in time, made a name for himself, really developed his mic skills, and developed a actual character that the fans could either get behind to whether boo or cheer, to come back in NXT to make a name for himself, putting on great matches with Andrade and Bobby Roode, I believe. And he was a champion down there to ultimately get the call up, the go ahead light to come on to the main roster as a heel, which we hadn't seen him do in this new iteration of himself, to now getting the moniker the Scottish Psychopath for his dangerous strike moves. And he's been doing really well. They've actually been giving him like a second wind. And I won't go with the Chosen One route, but they've given him a second win with his main roster, because he's really proven himself to be an ally to the company and not just another part of the roster that can get lost in the shuffle. So hopefully we see some pretty great things from all these new rookies coming after the year. But the one that counts at this moment for this award would be Mr. Drew McIntyre, who got our pick as the Rookie of the Year, asterisk, getting 4 of those votes, and the other 2 going to Ricochet. So I think in all this, it was pretty fair. He's had a stellar year, or re-welcoming back to the company, and I think it's fair. What about you guys?
Yeah, I feel like this is another controversial, like you said, asterisk going to this one as well. So we're probably going to get a lot of hate tweet, as well as phone calls and emails, and as well as snail mail from some of the older fans about our 2 rookies of the year, not actually really being rookies, but hey, this is our show. We can do whatever we want. See, I'm still a heel. So yeah, any thoughts from you guys? Anybody else about the rookie?
Nah, I mean it was close. Like it was close. I remember looking at the list being like, who am I gonna pick? I mean, I
yeah. Raj.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I think when he first came out as Vince as Triple H's handpicked star, I guess it didn't work out the first time, but yeah, like Delisha said, it's good that he got a second wind, and I think things turned out better this time around.
Definitely, people in the chat are agreeing too.
I was gonna say, I think we see a pattern that WWE doesn't like to recognize. When you try to hand pick these champions, we don't really like that. We don't like being told directly who to cheer for.
What? Get out of here!
So they should take that into account when they're trying to choose their next champion. Just say.
Wait, are you telling me they're not doing what's best for business?
They are not, because we will revolt. We will choose the champion that we want.
Well, I don't know. You guys did mention that he was part of a tag team or more of a stable, but that brings us to our next category. And we're going to Raj for this, the tag team of the year. And notice how we didn't do, I don't know if we did last year, we did Raw tag team or not. I think we did tag team. So same category, but this year we do have some new participants for tag team of the year.
Thanks, Cal. The first nominees for tag team of the year are the Iconics. Getting their feet wet at the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber helped Billie Kay and Peyton Royce gain momentum to become only the second ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champs at WrestleMania. The second nominees are the New Day. They held on to the SmackDown Tag Team belts for a couple months in 2018 before taking a back seat to being Kofi Kingston's biggest supporters. The next nominees are the Usos. They too have had their taste of the SmackDown Tag Team belts as a part of having a rather busy year inside and outside the ring. Wink, wink. And the final nominees for Tag Team of the Year are Bayley and Sasha Banks, becoming the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champs at Elimination Chamber. Bayley and Sasha ended their championship reign at WrestleMania on rough terms, to put it nicely. And the winners for Tag Team of the Year are the Usos.
Interesting fact that they have several awards listed on that page. This is actually their second AfterMat award. They actually were the recipients of the Tag Team of the Year last year, so they successfully defended their crown. We are also getting word that none of the other winners, previous winners this year and last year, have received any of the awards, probably because the Usos are holding the awards hostage in the Uso penitentiary. So that's why they must have all the awards. But yeah, I mean, this is well-deserved. I mean, I might have rather seen the Bar win it last year, and probably not. They didn't really do much this year, but I really thought the Bar deserved it last year. But they, the Usos are very worthy, and they did pretty much hold it all year. And I don't know. I guess they are the true champions.
Yeah, what do you guys think about it? As they say, they have that tag team division on lock, literally and figuratively. They're just an all-around great duo. I know people didn't like their babyface performance of doing the Haka entrance and things like that, which I did quite enjoy for a while, but I guess it got over.
I love that entrance.
Yeah, I liked it too, because I like people getting to show their heritage. But ever since they made that heel turn / now tweener turn, they've just been great. Their mic work has gotten so much better. Their intensity in the ring has gotten so much better. Their in-ring work has gotten so much better over these last couple of years. So there's no surprise of why they would hold the titles on multiple occasions. They may be maybe 5-time champions by now. Joe's not here to fact check me on that, so I'm just gonna say that it's true. And while they're continuously being pushed as the dominant tag team and on both brands, Raw or SmackDown.
They're just super fun to watch. I love watching them. You put them in the ring with anybody else and it's it doesn't matter. It's going to be an awesome match.
Yeah, it's kind of weird also to see that they're like what Roger's kind of alluding to in his hint is that their backstage politics hasn't really affected them as much as Roger and I are huge fans of the show Lost that we always talk about, and stuff like what happened to the people in Lost got them off the show if they're not as big as characters as some others that actually got caught for the same thing. They were kicked off the show, so I think the next night or next week or next pay-per-view they won the tag team championship. So apparently that's not a thing. So I don't know if that's a good message to send out to the WWE universe, especially to the kids and all. But it's working for them. So
I guess I wouldn't really backstage politics, more like just their personal lives sometimes. But because I always feel, I only know this from watching either their Instagram stories or Total Divas, but they seem like genuinely like good dudes. So that's probably why when stuff like that do happen, and it's not like it's happening every 3 weeks or so. I feel like they do get advocated for by maybe some of the veterans, and they do have that legacy status, so that kind of protects them as well. So
yeah. Well, and I guess their whole gimmick is them being in the penitentiary. So hey, it works, right?
they're doing their homework.
Yeah. In the chat, they entertained that they resigned for 5 more years. He really enjoyed the Leader of Worlds, which was actually somebody nominated that, but that didn't make the ballot because it didn't get enough votes. But too bad Braun can't say that. Braun can only say one thing, and we all know what that is, and it's raw. And that's about it. So, so I think Otero is saying that the younger kids don't follow the rap sheets and the insider things. Well, the kids these days are a lot more savvy than we were when we were younger. So I'm sure they're probably looking at the internet because they all have cell phones and iPads and whatnot.
They're all on
Reddit. I'm pretty sure they know what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's true. That could be true, but I really think they know what's going on in the world.
I mean, we all turned out fine, and we watched Stone Cold crack beers every time he came out on stage. So it'll be good. Don't worry about it.
But the difference is that was his character. This is real life.
Fair. That's fair.
I'm not saying that Stone Cold doesn't crack beer in real life as well, but I'm just saying, that was a character, so I don't know. Raj, do you have anything to chime in before we move for next?
I was just going to say, I'd like to see the women's tag team selection be like, they pick up steam in that category, because I think that's kind of lacking or that's probably just starting right now, but I think that's an area to grow in.
Yeah, hopefully by next season's awards, we're going to have the male tag team of the year as well as the female tag team of the year. We put it together because, like Rod said, there weren't that many female tag teams, and I'm glad at least half the nominees were the women, so that's great to see. But yeah, eventually when they get more of a standing, now that we have like Tamina and Nia becoming a bigger thing, Beth and Natalia, Bailey and whoever she's with now, I don't know nobody, I don't know. But we have what's her the pirate Kairi Sane and Asuka thing to I don't know, it's just a bunch of new women going together, which is cool to see that. We'll also see. Not that anyone's gonna be more iconic than Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, but just saying. All right, so I guess that will bring us to our next category, which will be covered by, I think Nicole is covering this one, and is a champion of the year. So this could be for any champion, be it the 205 Live Cruiserweight Champion. Oh, wait, is that what they're called? Yeah, I think that's what they're called. 205 Live Cruiserweight Champion, because I don't watch that show, all the way up until the World Wrestling Federation. No, that's what they're called anymore. WWE Champion, Universal Champion, anyone, whatever they were. This year, that best exemplified being champion this year. Nicole?
All right, so your nominees, starting off is Seth freaking Rollins, who beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, the only man to cash in Money in the Bank contract in a main event of WrestleMania, and the only wrestler to ever hold the WWE Championship and the United States Championship simultaneously. Next up, we have Ronda Rousey. She entered the WWE in an explosive fashion, sending Triple H crashing through a table, and she made it very clear to the WWE that she is, quote, the baddest woman on the planet. But it's hard to argue against that because she embarked on a ruthless, undefeated streak that saw her submit opponents within a matter of seconds with her signature armbar. Third, we have Buddy Murphy. He's capable of executing some of the most picturesque and high-risk aerial moves in wrestling. His alliance in NXT with Wesley Blake led to a 7-month tag team title reign. While in 205 Live, he became the Cruiserweight champ, and eventually he made it onto SmackDown Live thanks to the 2019 Superstar Shakeup. Last but certainly not least, we have Becky Lynch. What a year Becky's had. In 2018, she won her second SmackDown Women's Championship and surprised everyone by invading Raw, successfully getting into Ronda Rousey's head, demoralizing and humiliating her. She went on to win the 2019 Royal Rumble match and earned a World Championship opportunity at WrestleMania 35, where she won both Women's Championship titles. And your Champion of the Year is Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, quite the controversial. I know Nicole's probably has a bitter taste in her mouth announcing this award, because I know when she was sending me her ballot back and her votes back, she's like, Becky Lynch for everything. And honestly, Becky Lynch wasn't champion for most of the year, and I don't think anyone exemplified being a champion for the entire year as well as Ronda Rousey, as well as the votes, because we had, I think, 4 votes go for Rousey.
Three for Rousey, 1 for Buddy Murphy, 2 for Becky Lynch.
And 2 for Becky. And I'm sure you're one of the Becky Lynches.
Of course I was. I mean, she's the champion of champions. Does Ronda Rousey have 2 belts? Does she have 2 belts?
No, but she has real belts, like UFC belts.
Hey, so. We're not talking about the UFC. Don't come at me with that. I'm just kidding. She did great.
Yeah. Other than I think she crushed our expectations like a lot higher than what I thought she I set the bar really low for how she'd do, but she's like far exceeded that. And she really exemplified a good champion throughout the year, both as a face and somewhat as a heel, whatever you want to call her heelness was. But I think the other person who did it really well was Buddy Murphy, even though I don't follow 205 Live. But every time watching a pay-per-view pre-show, not that I ever watched it, he'd always be on the pre-show. I'd be like, oh, hey, Buddy Murphy's still champion? That's kind of cool, I guess. Like, he's got the championship for a while. Though I do have some hate in the heart for him for personal reasons. But, it doesn't really matter about that. But, yeah, Ronda Rousey, congratulations for winning Champion of the Year. Our next award goes to the Moment of the Year. This is kind of like the oh shit award that WWE gives out, or oh my god Moment of the Year. But this is like what we thought was the best moment of the year that kind of like made us, kind of touched us inside. So our nominees for Moment of the Year are Kofi Kingston winning the championship at WrestleMania 35. Kofi has a long 12-year career, which culminated in a WrestleMania 35 championship victory, making him the first ever African-born WWE champion. Second, Becky Lynch invades Raw. A week before Survivor Series, Becky led a SmackDown Women invasion of Raw. Unfortunately, Nia Jax broke her nose, but cemented Becky as the man of the WWE Universe. Third nominee is also Becky Lynch. So she has 2 chances to win this award. Will she win? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but you'll find out in a little bit. Becky winning both championships. The man carried her momentum in from Survivor Series through the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania 35, where she defeated the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, respectively, to become the first ever dual Women's Champion. And I spelled dual properly, not the improper way of D-U-E-L, which is a fight. And finally, our final nominee is Roman Reigns, the announcement and the return. On October 22nd episode of Raw, Joe Anoa'i relinquished, I apologize, I'm pronouncing that wrong, relinquished the Universal Championships soon after he won it, as he announced that he was battling leukemia for the last 11 years. Nearly 4 months after he announced his career, nearly 4 months later, he announced his cancer is in remission as making a full-time return. And the Moment of the Year winner is Kofi Kingston, winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35. This moment, actually really did touch me because I felt so. He won 3 votes. Roman Reigns got 2 votes. Becky Lynch invading Raw was only 1 vote. This moment really touched my heart, especially seeing him celebrate with his family. I didn't really much care for the New Day celebrating with him, but I did care about his family celebrating with him. That was great because that was if you guys remember what I said during the WrestleMania show, the joy that his son had and the pride he had in his father, touched me so deeply in the heart that it almost wanted to become a face. So to cancel my faces, we all really wish that Daniel Bryan got the leukemia and not Roman Reigns. There, I'm a heel again. Any thoughts about the moment of the year from you guys? Was this your guys' moment of the year as well? I know some of you guys voted differently, but would you have said from these nominees, or would you said something else? We'll start from the left, Alicia.
Yeah, I think I voted for Kofi. It was really a toss-up between Kofi and Becky, honestly. It's the two that had I guess, the most surprising arc, I guess you could say, of the season, or of our season, so to speak. And it was just such a great moment to hear 80 plus thousand people chanting Kofi's name, just so happy, well, most of them, I would hope, genuinely happy that he got his dream of winning that championship belt. And again, like you said, getting to win that in front of his family and his sons. And even though I know you don't like them two being in the ring, but his two legit friends who were legitimately pushing for this man to have this singular moment at WrestleMania, it really isn't, like, why wouldn't you have voted for that?
Yeah, but he didn't have a singular moment because they took away from it. Just put his kids in the ring, take the New Day out of it, get them out. I don't need to see them doing all their stuff in the ring. Anyway, Raj, you are next. How did you feel about this?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I disagree with this pick. I voted for Roman Reigns because I think it took a lot of courage and guts just to get up there and tell the truth. I mean, he could have said, WWE could have said, yeah, he hurt his arm, he's out for 6 months or indefinitely or whatever. But I think that, I mean, it made headlines on CNN and ESPN and everywhere else. I think that was pretty deep and impactful.
Okay, now to bolster my heel image, was that done for him or was that done for the WWE? Because I see the WWE doing it as a marketing scheme. Like you said, it got so much publicity. Second of all, they need him to be that huge face. He was getting booed for everything. How are you going to boo a guy with cancer? The only person you could boo who had cancer is Daniel Bryan. So there
Absolutely.
you go.
But you could say the same thing about Kofi winning, like, first African-born.
That's what I said. I don't want him to take. I've been saying that on WrestleMania, like all the recap. I don't want them to take away from that, like about the women being the first time like WrestleMania. Oh, they kept saying it over and over and over. I know we're talking about this award show, not like our analysis, but I said that too, like about the women, like they kept saying that, and it kind of took away from their moment because they said, oh, we're gonna make it. It kind of made it more about WWE making it the first ever women's main event as opposed to taking away from, being what it was.
Yeah.
Same thing about Kofi Kingston. Like, he's the first African, like, okay, great. Say that once. You don't need to say like every 5 seconds, like, he has a chance of becoming the first African champion, first champion. Like, I want it to be about them, not about the WWE, making it about publicity and all that kind of stuff. That's what I care about.
Yeah, it's a gray area. I don't know. Yeah, you make a good point. I don't know where it falls, the truth falls.
All right. And Nicole, your thoughts about your moment?
So I was actually on Man Out. I voted because I didn't want to get emotional. I voted for Becky invading Raw because I was like, I don't want to pick between Roman Reigns having cancer and Kofi Kingston winning the title. I was like, that sounds like a catch-22. Either way I go, it's going to be bad. So I'm like, I'm going to pick the fun one, and Becky getting her nose smashed in and being all like, what's up? I'm here. I'm the man. So, I mean, realistically, I love that Kofi won. I thought it was fantastic. It was a great moment. And to be honest, when Roman came back, I was legitimately like, I might like this guy. Like, now I don't hate his face every time he's on my TV screen. So, I mean, in a sense, the WWE has really won now.
See? Told you guys, it's the machine, man. See, well, Entertainment in the chat is saying that cancer can't make you do more than 2 moves and have personality. As a great story as it is, it can't change who he is. But it did change how the fans looked at him, at least for a time being.
Guys, I'm telling you, I was like the biggest Roman Reigns hater. Like, I hate everything about his stupid face on my TV screen. I was at the Royal Rumble when I thought he came in at number 30 in San Antonio. I thought for sure they were going to give it to him. The only reason why I was so stoked Randy Orton won is because it was between him and Roman Reigns. And it's like, I never thought I could be excited that Randy Orton won, but that's the way to get me to do it. Put Roman Reigns in the ring. And it's like, now when he pops up, I'm not like, I don't hate his face as much as I used to. So like, yeah, I mean, it worked. Damn it.
Yeah, so they are great. It did soften the view of him. Well, this brings us to our final award of the night that Tom was supposed to be covering. However, unfortunately, he's with his family. And like I say, family comes first. So Delisha will be covering the Superstar of the Year. But before she does that, I do have a few notes about this category, as well as our entire show on the evening. But before I say that, I just want to let you know the Superstar of the Year goes to the male or female, the way we do it is we take all 4 of the male nominees and all 4 of the female nominees and put them all up against each other. So we have 8 nominees for this category, gigantic category, and whoever garners the most votes will become the superstar of the year. But before Deletion does that, I just want to let you guys know some notes that this year's awards have been missing a lot of key nominees from last year, just to show you how much a year changes. Such notable names that are missing from last year are Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, our superstar of the year from last year, AJ Styles, The Miz, who was our champion of last year. I think our male superstar of the year might have been AJ Styles as well. Our female superstar of the year is also missing from nominees this year as well, is Alexa Bliss. So there's a lot of change from last year. As you can see, a lot of diversities happened. A lot of things have changed. Storylines have changed. People have gotten pushed. People have been put down. So it's great to see that it has changed. It's not the same person. I mean, we'd love to see a long title reign. Like a Brock Lesnar having a long title reign is great to see. I love that, with him just defending once every 4 years. That's great. Good old Bruno Sammartino style. That's what I like to see. And CM Punk having a long reign. Maybe we'll see that again, because word is that CM Punk was in the ring over the weekend in a masked outfit. If you don't know, check that news out. Google it. But he did wrestle this weekend, apparently. But yeah, so that just goes to show you how much has changed in the year. So the next award is Superstar of the Year, and Billy will be capping the year off.
Yeah, and I will say, in honor of Tom and his snarkiness that I don't have in much abundance, I'm going to read what he sent us, because some of it I think was hilarious. So our nominees for Superstar of the Year, first up is Mr. Power of Positivity himself, Kofi Kingston, who spent most of 2018 doing comedy bits and throwing pancakes as a member of the New Day, before he surged popularity in late 2019. Unfortunately for Mustafa Ali being injured, but fortunately for Kofi, he got to showcase why Kofi is such a mainstay in this business for the last 10 plus years, and that began the road to Kofi Mania, where he was penultimately crowned the WWE champion after 11 years of blood, sweat, and tears from everybody, including me. Our next nominee is Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow. Empress had a bad up and down of the year of beginning of 2018, who was capped from a long winning streak to be tapped out by the Queen at WrestleMania 34, and then later in the year, she did get her revenge in defeating Charlotte, as well as the man, Becky, for a title in an epic TLC match at, TLC. And as Tom says, the less said about what happened after that, the better. As again, she kind of did go on a downward spiral, but that great beginning and middle of the year was so strong that we had to put her on our list. Next would be Seth Rollins, who went from the Intercontinental Champion to finally putting down the Beast, or slaying the Beast as the Beast Slayer. In this past year has been very lucrative for Seth. As we said, he's had multiple titles or titleship runs throughout the year, so there's no way we could leave him off our list, especially after that WrestleMania performance. Next up, we have Mr. Daniel Bryan, or the new Daniel Bryan, as we are now to call him now. He made a triumphant return from a pretty serious neck injury, which left us all, except for one of us here, sad that he could not pursue his dream in wrestling, although we did see him as an on-screen persona for a couple of years, but finally made his return in 2018 and defeating AJ Styles and turning heel on the final SmackDown before Survivor Series, and giving us the new Daniel Bryan, as he said. And he went on to have great feuds with Samoa Joe, again AJ Styles, and then a phenomenal match, no AJ Styles pun intended, against Brock Lesnar, to show that he's a true worker, and whether he's putting himself or other people over, especially putting that hemp oak belt over, he's going to be a mainstay in this company, whether he's, again, being a face or a heel, which a lot of us may not have been sure that he could pull off, but he's doing great at it, and we look forward to seeing what he may do in this upcoming season. So, of course, we had to put him on our list, much to the chagrin of Cal. Next, we have the aforementioned baddest woman on the planet, but a dominant year of kicking off with her first match of beating up Triple H and making Stephanie tap. Then to go on with feuds with Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, the Bellas, Ruby Riott, and then ultimately with Becky and Charlotte, while maintaining a lengthy women's reign that she lost at its past WrestleMania, being defeated by the man, Becky Lynch. But for her, she had such a dominant reign that there was no way she wasn't going on this list, much to probably me and Nicole's chagrin as well. We're just big Becky Lynch fans, so we just we're still warming up to Miss Rossi, but we wouldn't have been we wouldn't have talked the list because she's pretty good. Which also brings us to the queen of the women's division, as she calls herself, Miss Charlotte Flair, who has made woman after woman tap, has had some epic matches as Becky and with Ronda, and even made Asuka tap once for the Women's SmackDown Championship that she quickly lost, as Tom likes to point out. So you can check off another ring for her, but she's had such a dominant year that we, again, couldn't leave her off. And then we have our 205 now onto the main roster champion, Mr. Buddy Murphy, who has continuously to put on great matches, as we said before, on 205 or whether on the pre-show, much to our detriment because usually those pre-show cruiserweight matches are pretty darn good. But they did make it to the main show at once, maybe twice, definitely once. So we had to commend him for his hard effort, even though he did lose the championship to Tony Nese. He had to be on this list. And then, so all these great people, superstars, male and female, on tier, but there can only be one winner, and it is going to the woman or the man, Becky Lynch, who I don't see how, besides maybe Kofi, of why she would not be Superstar of the Year. From someone, if you told us a year ago that we would all be in awe and rooting and everyone being behind her, we might have been like, oh, maybe, but we couldn't probably see that going anywhere, to her just exploding and just being able to be who she is on the mic, in the ring, and just have the crowd behind her, and to finally get her her due diligence of getting not one but 2 belts at WrestleMania. There's no way that she could have not been our Superstar of the Year.
Yeah, congratulations to Becky Lynch. She is the first ever woman to receive the Superstar of the Year award. No, it's only the second year, but hey, this was the year of the women. And I'm going to turn it over to Nicole for a second because I know she was rooting for Becky for every award throughout the category. Even for the male Superstar of the Year, she's rooting for Becky because Becky theoretically is the man.
I mean, she's
how
the
do you
man.
feel about her? How do you feel about her winning the Superstar of the Year?
I'm not going to lie. I was a little salty when I saw that she didn't win Champion of the Year, and it made up for it when I saw that she won Superstar of the Year. I was like, okay, I will let Ronda Rousey have this one because my girl got Superstar of the Year. And I'm just saying, like, I'm a huge Becky fan, you guys, and yes, I'm fangirling super hard, but she deserves it. Like, I've loved her for like 3 or 4 years now, and she just gets crapped on left and right. And then finally they were like, wait a second, people like her. Why don't we do this thing? And I was like, I don't care if she's a heel. I don't care if she's a face. I just want her to win. And it was fantastic. So thank you. Thank you all who voted for Becky. You made the right choice. The 2 of you that didn't, I'm going to come hunt you down.
Yeah, that was a vote 4 votes to 2. I do agree. Like, Rousey was champion for majority of the season for us. Therefore, I think she is a rightful winner of the champion. But I think Becky had the hotter year for us, the season for us. So therefore, I think she deserved it. I don't know who the 2 people who would vote for Ronda were, but yeah, I mean, I could probably go back and look, but we don't need to give that up. But yeah, Raj, your thoughts on the Superstar of the Year and Becky winning?
Yeah, I love Becky. I agree with Nicole. Someone in the marketing department, though, I still like. I think you've said on your prior videos, what's with the man name? That's disappointing. But other than that, I love Becky.
Yeah. So what Raj is alluding to is that for being the face of the women's evolution or revolution, or however you want to go by it, revolution, to call yourself the man kind of takes away from being the But it's like a whole marketing gimmick thing. That's how they do it. But
it started out as meaning she superseded both the male and female roster. Like, she is, at the same terms, like, you're the man or whatever. So she just took that on as her own moniker and be like, well, I supersede all you other superstars, whether you're male or female. People are cheering for me. I'm still in those t-shirts. I'm putting those butts in the seats. So yeah. I get where it's coming. I think it's just ironic, that's how I see it.
Like I feel like Alanis Morissette should be coming out as her theme song. Isn't it ironic every time she comes out? But I don't know. I'm very proud. As you guys know, Becky Lynch is my number 2 WWE wife. She's moved up. She's moved up from being, I think, number 3 or off the list to number 2. As we know, our other person, who actually was like a no-show. Actually, she was nominated for one category, I think, Tag Team of the Year. Was completely not taken off the list. But yeah, it just goes to show you how much things have changed in a year. So that, like I said, another person who wasn't on the Superstar of the Year that was there last year was Sasha Banks as well. But yeah, a lot of people are knocked off. A lot of people are now put on. It's amazing to see how much things change in a year. And I think Entertainment said it a little bit earlier. Things change in 6 months. If you look back 6 months, a lot of people might not be nominated. So that's why we wait until WrestleMania, because that's how we kind of see it. WrestleMania being the culmination of the season. So I think it's a due time of when to have the award.
I think Darwin's trying to give you his picks.
Yeah, I know. He's mad about Becky being called the man. That's what he's arguing about. But yeah, Kofi. He asked if Kofi got the other votes. No, Ronda got the other 2 votes. So yeah, it's just like it went down to the same thing as a female superstar of the year, where Becky won it 4-2. None of the males got votes this year for the superstar of the year, which I think deservedly so. I can't think of any dude except for Buddy Murphy, which I don't even watch, being anything big this entire year or season for us. Yeah, so I'm gonna go from left to right. What your thoughts on the year or our season, I should say. Your thoughts on our season, and before we do our wrap up or finisher, whatever you call it, your thoughts on our season, and is there any award you'd like to see next year? So I'll start with Alicia first.
Yeah, I think this past season year it's had its ups and downs moments for sure, but I feel like as much with a lot of television shows, it's not going to be perfect from from start to finish, especially when there's 14,000 hours of wrestling a week. Sometimes we're going to get into a lull. But I feel like in an overall arching scheme, we really got some shining stars in Becky and Kofi, and even Mustafa Ali to a certain extent before he got injured, and seeing some good group of call-ups come up from, even though he got called up beforehand, Andrade, and then we have Ricochet and Aleister Black. And then now we have Kairi Sane and Asuka teaming up. So we have, and I guess I know this is past our season, but with the Superstar shakeup, we're going to see a lot of things get shuffled around and see some feuds and matchups that we haven't seen before. So this last year was pretty good, but I am pretty excited to see what we're going to do in these next couple of months.
And any award that you'd like to see come back? I mean, show up for next season?
Well, I know you guys don't watch it, but I feel like maybe there should be an honorable mention to an NXT superstar. I know they get called up with the rookies, but a lot of them do still stay down there. And I feel like even though me and Nicole try, they deserve more shine.
Maybe that's a good idea. Make like a next gen award. How about that? Like for next season,
okay.
Have something called the Next Gen Award, where we have the Next Gen Superstar of the Year, and that could be people who are currently in NXT that can make their way up, NXT UK or whatever. Because I love Rhea Ripley and all that. So if any of those people who want to come up, Raj, your thoughts on the season? Not just AfterMat, just about like the wrestling season. I know you haven't followed it as closely this year, but I want to thank you for joining us. But what are your thoughts on the season, and any awards you'd like to see next season?
This season, I think, like Delisha just said, I think NXT is hot, the farm system. So I'd like to see more call-ups, because this year the male and female rookies of the year were kind of lacking because, I guess, of the call-ups. And same with the award. I'd like to see like an NXT related award. You know how much I like NXT. And as far as the male and females in WWE, yeah, I think the females, they kick butt, and the males, I guess there's maybe, hopefully the NXT folks can the new blood can inject some in the males superstars.
And so, any thoughts about it? No award or no?
Yeah, same as Alicia and you were saying.
Okay.
Something like the next gen NXT, type award.
Just to talk to people in chat. Entertaining to see an indie category, like independent category. Like I guess he means like Ring of Honor and AEW and all that kind of stuff. Like we said, like the availability of that stuff, if it's available for us to watch, maybe we could do that. But our show does really only cover WWE pay-per-views. We have a lot on our plate, and that goes to the next point you're making too, inclusion of fan voting as well, or Twitter. I had a Twitter vote last year. Unfortunately, this year with my school schedule, just coming back from vacation, like Raj and I were in New Orleans while I was like putting together emails for you guys and all that. I got back on a delayed flight, and I also did my show Night's Watch for Game of Thrones. So I had a lot on my plate this year, so I couldn't do the Twitter vote this year. But we did have a Twitter vote last year. We gave you all the nominees ahead of time. You guys voted, and we included that as the People's Choice Award. So we can do that again next year, depending on, like, there won't be any Game of Thrones next year, so I probably should have more time, depending on how long our stay at New Orleans is, because it's usually around the same time as this award show. So I will try to get that done for you guys next season, the Twitter vote as well.
Yeah,
people. Abs of the year.
Yeah, the ones that people don't know that you produce like 10,000 shows a week. So
Doing it, like, just me starting the show today was like a pain, because I was trying to get like people on the phone and on Twitter and on that and all. It takes a lot, and I'll try to do it for next year. I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't have the Twitter vote this year. But yeah, like, and also like schools also, takes a lot of toll on me too. That's why I had to cut back on streaming as well. So just a lot. But that's another one, the pop of the year as well. That's kind of like the moment of the year for us, but pop of the year, that the pop is kind of like the moment of the year, because like when Ronda Rousey made her debut and when Paige came back, we popped for that. So that's what we kind of consider our moment of the year. But I do like the next gen idea. But maybe Nicole have a good idea as well. But first of all, Nicole, what do you think of the season for wrestling for us? And then any award that you want to see next season?
You know what? I really enjoyed watching this year, and I have a hard time making sure to fit in all of the pay-per-views just because I'm busy. And I mean, I'm a professor, and I'm teaching a new class this year, and it's just one of those things where when you're making lectures and stuff, sometimes you just don't have time. And so for what I don't really get to watch Raw and SmackDown nearly as often as I would like, but I do catch the pay-per-views fairly frequently, and I really enjoyed this year. And of course, I'm on a high of all of my sports ball stuff. I mean, everything that I'm a fan of this year is just blowing up right now, and I'm high on life. I got the Dallas Stars in hockey doing awesome, the Vegas Knights doing awesome. I got my Overwatch League team being number 1 right now. I've got Becky being the man and like rocking the WWE. It's just like my life as a fan of everything is just awesome. And so like WWE falls right into that, it being the women's revolution. You all know how I feel about that. And being that I've watched since I was 8, it's been an amazing journey to get to see and be included finally in this category of things that I've watched for so long. And as far as an award, I would like to see the best abs of WWE as an award. That would be my pick, so that way I could put Finn Balor up against Ricochet, and we could go from there.
That's going to Tony Nese every year. There's 8 of them, girl.
It's going to go to Cal's abs every year.
Yeah, Ricochet is like 47. So
that's what I want. I want the best abs of WWE.
We'll have Raj go in and examine and decide. All right. Before we do our wrap ups or our final calls for for all of us, I want to go ahead and thank. We're gonna have Nicole do that, and then. But before we do that, I want to thank Slater for joining us. You did a great job. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for joining us, and you did a great job presenting your award. We hope to see you guys continue. Rusev wins best abs. We also love to see you guys participate in all the ideas you're giving us now. It's great to see that, and also hitting us up on Twitter, because we're going to give you guys your Twitter in a little bit as well. Seeing that, just seeing you guys participate, and we want to incorporate you guys more. So maybe I don't want to promise this now or anything, but I know Entertained and Otero and all you guys probably watch the other ones. Maybe we can do a spin-off show and you guys talk about AEW and all that. I don't know if, depending on our schedules and all that, but if you guys are really into that, maybe we could add that to the channel. And I know you guys have your own channel too. If you want to put it on there, and we can have a sister show, whatever you guys want to do. I like you guys thinking and all that. And I know we're all really busy and stuff with life and all that, but if you guys really have a passion for that, follow that, and we'll be here to support you guys. Just like how Slater supported us here and we gave back. I want to thank him for joining us again. Did a great job. And once again to Eric as well. Eric, you'll always be missing this show. You're always on the spot and home over here as our stable. Like you said, you're always on our shirt from the beginning, and we're going to keep that spot here for you. And And I'm glad that we could have the Beverly Monroe Female Superstar of the Year forever, as long as we do this show. And if you guys want to get the shirt, the AfterMat shirt, designed by our great friend Janine Devine, the link is probably in the description below. Also, you can check out or hit me up, and I'll send you guys the link as well. But I'm pretty sure it's in the description below.
Yeah, I'm about to say, just in case, I'm pretty sure it's at TeePublic. I believe it's G9 Design.
G9.
So you could probably find it there. Or yeah.
But yeah, so once again, thank you to Eric. So I'm gonna go from seniority to, least seniority to the most. So we'll start with Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us this year. I hope you had a great time. I know you're gonna have something coming up for your own channel as well, because I've been watching your Instagram posts of your lovely hair transformation and all that. But you do have something coming up with Alicia that you might want to mention as well. But thank you. You did a great job this year. Thank you for the passion and excitement that you showed, and everything you did for the show and supporting this channel. And thank you so much. So anything you want to talk about what you're doing and what AfterTalk has coming up?
Yeah. So one, thanks for having me. I was so stoked to get to be a part of this year. You guys have no idea. I squeed super loud in Delisha, Cal, and I's like group text. I was like, "Are you kidding?" I was like, "Wait, there's some stuff you have to do for it." I'm like, "I don't care if I have to light myself on fire and jump through a hula hoop. I want to be on." And so I was super excited. Thank you so much for having me. It was great fun. You guys can actually find me here doing After Talk with Delisha. I think that we decided to do a dream card, right? Is that what our next After Talk is going to be?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So we're going to do a dream card where it's a Midnight Summer's dream card. Is that what our title was going to be?
So there's a genius that we have on the show that produces it. I won't mention any names, but he came up with a clever title, completely original, A Midsummer Night's Dream Card. So if you know anything about Shakespeare, he stole that from me. But yeah, so it's Midsummer Night's Dream Card. So
there you go. I was close.
All you guys who talk about all of those AEWs and all those dream cards of having Kenny Omega fight, whatever and all that, if they were ever part of the WWE roster, they are fair game for this dream card. The way that we're looking at it now, and we'll talk about more through tweets and stuff like that, and probably send up some votes for you guys to do. But
that would be awesome. I'm game for audience votes. That would be totally cool because I'm excited about this. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, you can find me. My YouTube is on here. I do a lot of hair tutorial things. I also talk a little bit about life lessons, but I'm really into hair, and I recently just cut mine, and so I've got this forward pushed punk thing going on, and it's working out pretty okay. So if you want to come watch me do hair tutorials, talk about hair products and such, well, you know where to find me. It's right on here.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And Nicole's channel is also in the featured channel, so if you look to whichever side, I never know which side to point to on camera, but if you go to my channel, you look at featured channels, Nicole's channel, Rhapsody Vlog, is also there, and she's also on Twitter and on Instagram, so check her out. So thank you once again, Nicole. We're going to move on to next in seniority, who's making his second appearance, two-time. Imagine my dredger moving. Two-time presenter on the AfterMat Awards, the Road Dog himself, Raj.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I don't have any hair to promote. So, yeah, thank you for having me. I had fun. I guess I'll promote. Yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel, so I'll just promote AfterMat, as well as everyone else who joined today: Eric, Delisha, Nicole, Slater. So
yeah. And Raj also is taking endorsements for razors for his head shaving and all that. So if you have any sponsorships you guys want to give out, let him know. And thank you, Raj, for being such a great supporter as well, rocking the shirt, getting a shirt and all that, and going out with us to pay-per-views and events. It's always fun. Thank you so much, Raj, for being part of this family as well.
But also, if you need help with Excel spreadsheet, he's pretty darn good at that too.
Oh yeah, wait, how'd you know about that? Did I tell you that?
Yes, we talked about it a year ago.
Yeah, because Raj's Excel spreadsheets for our well, this year we did have some controversy. However, Raj tried to weasel $1 out of me. Take away, I don't know what it was, but he said something. If you ever go on vacation with Raj, he'll set up an Excel spreadsheet of all the expenses and what you owe and all that, and what everyone owes each other. It's fantastic. So if you want to take him on a free vacation, Raj is always welcome. He'll be your accountant for the vacation. So, but as always, I do also have my tag team partner that's with me through every episode of AfterMat, the Glam and Deletion.
Well, yeah, guys, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Delisha Renee, and then you can find me supporting Cal's 10,000 shows throughout the week. You just follow his Twitter for that. And then again, like we said, we're doing After Talk coming up. Probably post Game of Thrones because that keeps Cal busy because he has to rewatch everything, take notes, produce, and all that stuff. So just look out for any of our 3 Twitter handles to figure out the actual date of that episode, and then of course look out for the tweets for some fan votes as well. And then I don't know the next time when he's coming down from the rafters, but I will say if you want to try, someone still hasn't done it, or at least screenshots and say they've done it, to find our Fact Chapter Joe on Facebook, as we like to joke, at Joseph P. Butler, I believe. Just look for the ginger beard guy in your in the photo icon. I think I'm on there too. But as we keep saying, go if you find them and you add a friend request, screenshot it, and maybe we'll give you a prize or something. So I'm waiting for someone to do that, and it's been a year and no one has done it, or they haven't showed proof that they've done it.
Then now we got to keep giving out gifts and stuff like prizes.
I mean, what kind of pocket would it be if we didn't bribe our audience?
We can give some of Joe's lustrous beard hair. Red beard hair. That'd be fantastic. And maybe get a deal with Rod for shaving it off or something. Maybe we'll do that, with the new razor deal. But yeah, so as for me, I am the People's Champ Cal over here on the Kingslayer Network. You always find me here on YouTube and on Twitch, Kingslayer Network, over on Twitter at KingslayerNet. We're going to be back on AfterMat on May 20th. 20th for Money in the Bank. So back to our normal schedule. But you can always find me every Wednesday night here on 9 p.m. Eastern doing the Night's Watch, recapping Game of Thrones. So if you're a huge Game of Thrones fan, please come check that out as well. I'll be with lovely people from Odd Shape Channel, and we talk about every episode. And we have one, I think we're going to do every episode of the season, and we have one more episode after the season ends, just talk about the entire series as a whole, what we like the most, kind of like our award show for that, for the entire series of Game of Thrones, like our top 5 moments kind of thing, top 5 deaths, top 5, whatever, character, what have you. We're going to do that on the final ever episode of Night's Watch. I don't know if ever, because there are prequels coming, so who knows. And I'll be going back to my streaming schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Remember, Wednesdays are still going to be preempted until Game of Thrones ends, so there'll be no streams on Wednesdays until after Game of Thrones ends. So Wednesday streaming will be back in June, but Friday streaming will be back this Friday, and Monday streams will be back whenever AfterMat's not on. So that's what we got going on. But I think that's pretty much it for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we had to cover. Like I said, we'll be back with After Talk in sometime probably July, so it's midsummer for Midsummer Night's June card, and for Money in the Bank. Until then, guys, keep slamming the haters and be the champion of your dreams. See you guys later. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wasteland, through the highways, and on life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.